Now we're doing our film review on Von Miller. I get mentions all the time. I get people that comment on some of the stuff I post about Von Miller, and people say, well, he's declined, he's washed up, and we've never seen a decline as fast as Von Miller. But if they're really relying on stats that he didn't get 10 sacks in 2019 to support that claim, then I know that they haven't watched a single ounce of film. And I'm going to show you guys here the domination here of Von Miller. This is against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Gardner Minshew inside, and look, this is a sack. The Broncos didn't register a sack until week 4 of the NFL regular season. That's a long ways to go. But watch what Von Miller does here. Just watch the approach here on the right tackle. Now, as you can see, your defensive end is in a 3 technique. Your defensive tackle's in a 3 technique as well, as you got the center right here splitting the shotgun. We call this gun left from the defense perspective. If you're looking at it from the offense perspective, we call that gun right here. Von Miller's just going to come off the edge one-on-one. And look, he saw a lot of one-on-one opportunities with Bradley Chubb there opposite of him. Things changed a little bit for Von Miller once Bradley Chubb left with an ACL tear. But right here, he gets a sack on Gardner Minshew. Bam! On this play, the Broncos get a sack. Von Miller off of the left side here on Gardner Minshew out of the play-action fake here. And really a great job all around by the Broncos defensive line. You've got DeMarcus Walker, you got Bradley Chubb, Derek Wolfe, and you also got Adam Gotsis in there with your linebackers here. But watch Von Miller. He's just going to scream off the edge. Now, as you can see here, Derek Wolfe's lined up in a 4 technique, which means that he's head up on the tackle. You've got your defensive tackle. He's lined up in a 1 technique. He's on that inside shoulder of the center. And then your other defensive end is on a 3 technique. He's on the outside shoulder of the guard here. And then, of course, you got Bradley Chubb screaming down. This before he tore his ACL. The Broncos defense, they were all over the place in this game flowing around here. But look at Von Miller off the edge against the tackle. That tackle has no choice. Now watch right here. A little bit of a shoulder dip, but watch the tackle. This should be called holding, but Von Miller never gets those calls. But it results in a sack, so you can't be mad. Von on this play does a phenomenal job against the edge, against Virgil Green, former teammate, as he makes a play here in the run game. And Von is still very elite, especially as an edge rusher, but also as a run defender. He does a great job punching the outside shoulder of Virgil Green, squeezing down hill line, and watch him make the play here on Melvin Gordon. This is a phenomenal play. I'll show you guys again, slow motion. That's a shove. That's not a hold. I don't get that. It's one of those ticky-tack calls by the officials, but Von Miller scraping down the edge is still very lethal. Von Miller on this play is lined up against the right tackle, and he's going to shed a little bit of a cut block here, and I'm always weary about these plays because I'm an ACL guy. Look at this trajectory, too. You got this downward angle at the knee. I get that as a lineman. You got to cut, but Von Miller does a great job anticipating. Still gets in the lap of Ryan Tannehill and causes that pressure. Watch that right there. Boom. Good adjustment. He still gets up on his feet, and he still gets in the face and makes contact with Ryan Tannehill, and the pass is caught, ridden out of bounds here. But I also want to show you guys this play here. He's going against an all-pro left tackle here in Taylor Lewan from the Tennessee Titans. Watch this get off right here. Great blitz design by the Broncos, but he's just pushing him back. He's collapsing the pocket into Ryan Tannehill. It results in a sack. In my opinion, Von Miller put on a masterclass performance from a pass rusher position, from a guy who's still an elite edge defender overall against the Indianapolis Colts. By far, I think if you go back and watch this game, he was all over the place. I'm going to show you an example right here. Now, as you can see, you've got your center right here. You've got your right guard. You've got your right tackle. And then you got 2 tight ends here. These 2 tight ends are going to try to block Von Miller, but watch what Von does here. He sheds the double team, and he makes a phenomenal play here in the freaking run game. Look at that. Tacks 2 blocks, cuts back inside, and takes out Marlon Mack. Watch it again. Watch it again. Right here. 2 blocks. 2 blocks. Get out of here. He sheds up inside. Bam. Tackle in the backfield for a loss. Really a continuation here of Von Miller's epic game. Now, as you can see, there's going to be a motion here. Josie Jewell, the Broncos in man coverage, is going to follow because he's going all the way across the formation. Your rule for an inside linebacker, you're not going to trail all the way across the field as well. So what you're going to do is you've got a green call. So Von Miller's going to go, Josie Jewell is going to go as well, and they're going to send a blitz at Jacoby Brissett. And Von Miller gets the pressure here on Jacoby Brissett, but it's hard to stop a guy like Von. Watch this. Look, that's a holding call right there. They don't call it. I'm going to show you guys again. Right here. Look at this. Look at this hook. That's outside the frame. I see the lineman's glove right here on the back 5 of Von Miller here. The referees consistently in the NFL, they don't call holding when Von Miller is being held. It's a legitimate argument that I think a lot of people aren't considering, but this is just one of those examples. He still causes pressure, and he gets sacks even while being held by offensive tackles. Teams try to find a variety of ways to stop Von Miller. This time they're going to try to double team him with another 2 tight end set. As you guys can see, the 2 tight ends right here to the right side of your screen. Now what they're going to do is this outside tight end, he's going to try to get this outside shoulder of Von Miller. This inside tight end, he's on the line. He's going to try to attack the inside shoulder. The offensive line, they're going to work their way. They're going to double team and try to chip their way up to the inside safety and potentially the cornerback if he becomes a near side threat. But Von Miller sheds a double team and makes a play in the backfield. Tackle for loss right here. Great play right there. Now watch it again. Watch it. He's going to cut through this double team between 2 tight ends, and he's going to meet the running back for a loss. Big play here by Von Miller. More recently, this is Week 17 against the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders, but fans said, well, can he do it consistently? Because he only finished with under 10 sacks. He had 8.5 sacks in 2019. Does this mean that Von Miller regressed throughout the season? If you watch the film, ladies and gentlemen, Von Miller didn't regress a single step. And this is also coming off of an injury as well. He didn't play Week 13 against the Los Angeles Chargers, but watch what he does right here. His first move is always so special off the line of scrimmage. He's going to attack outside and then spin back inside on Derek Carr and cause an incompletion here. That's a phenomenal play by an elite player. The same exact game. But why is Von Miller dancing here? Well, guess what? We're going to show you why right here. He's going to come off of a chip here by Darren Waller, and he's got a one-on-one here with the tackle, and he shoulder dips to get a sack on Derek Carr. And this is so beautiful, we got to show you twice. Now watch right here. There's a chip. Now the idea of chipping from a tight end on any kind of edge rusher is because it will slow him down, or at least that's the hope. But for Von Miller, it doesn't slow him down. And now look at this. This tackle is like, oh my goodness, I got a one-on-one here against Von Miller. What am I going to do? Well, obviously the track for Von is to be able to come outside, because if he goes inside, guess what? Derek Carr's just going to roll off to his right and probably hit Darren Waller here in the flat on a quick dump out here. But Von Miller, quick, look at that shoulder dip right here. Look how low his center of gravity is. That is so hard to defend, and now he's got a path to Derek Carr. We've seen him in the past where he brings his hands up and he tries to bring that ball out, but he wants to secure the sack here, and he does just that, and it's a phenomenal play by Von Miller. Still elite. Now, on this play, you're going to see pressure by Von Miller against David Blau, the Detroit Lions here. And I want to talk about something. I want to make a little bit of an argument here. Everybody on Twitter, or at least the scout and the box score stat keepers, they're looking at stats. They're looking at sacks as the measure for an edge rusher. Pressure is so important. Von Miller may have had 8 sacks. I know earlier in this film review I said 8.5. I forgot they took one of those half sacks away due to a penalty. So he had 8 sacks in 2019. He had 37 pressures. He had 20 quarterback hits, and he also had 18 quarterback hurries. He also knocked the quarterback down in 2019 10 times, and pressure is so important for a pass rusher. So watch what he does right here. And when you try to block him one-on-one with a tight end, what do you expect? Your quarterback's going to take a shot here. Now look, Von Miller, his first step was outside and he takes a quick jab step inside. This tight end is already a little off kilter. He's got to be able to take a lateral step this way if he wants to be able to slow down Von Miller. But look at Von coming inside and getting pressure, and David Blau forces the incompletion. Still a pretty good throw by Blau. Good coverage by the Broncos, but pressure, a throw, rush throw, and taking a quarterback hit and good coverage altogether. That's a good combination by this Broncos defense on this play.